Out of all the award season Oscar films coming out throughout January, this is probably the number one film I wanted to see before doing a top 10 of 2024 because it's the one that's getting the most hype, the most talk during the award season because it's a 3.5 hour long historical drama. It sounds like a film that was made for Oscars. So to get straight to it, did I like The Brutalist? Yes. Is it the best film I've ever seen? Is it my favourite film of the decade so far? No. First things first, Adrian Brody. I've heard all the Oscar chatter, and deservedly so. He pours so much heart and passion into this performance. I saw an interview he did where he was talking about his grandparents and how they immigrated to America, and it feels like he's channeling the story of his grandparents into this performance. So it's just completely soulful, and it just feels like he's trying to honor his own heritage and his own lineage, and it just comes through on the screen with every single second that he's on the screen. I can definitely see him winning that Best Actor Oscar, and I will not be upset if he does. But someone else who's got a lot of hype in here is Guy Pearce, and also deservedly so. Guy Pearce, I've always enjoyed seeing him in films. I've always thought he's a good actor. But in this film, I'm like, okay, you're actually a great actor, and thus, why aren't you in more films? Like Adrian Brody, Guy Pearce became his character. I don't think he will win Best Supporting Actor. My choice personally would be Kieran Culkin. But if Guy Pearce did win it, surprisingly, I also would not be upset. And Felicity Jones has not gotten as much hype as Adrian Brody and Guy Pearce, but I also thought she was really good as well. Felicity Jones, I think, is also quite an underrated actress. She can be really, really good when she wants to be. Now, from a filmmaking standpoint, The Brutalist is absolutely impeccable. I read a while ago that the budget for this film was less than $10 million, which, if that's true, it blows my mind because the period accurate details, the cars, costumes, and just the overall look of the film, the production design, everything about just the general craftsmanship of this film, and it's less than $10 million. Hollywood, what are we doing? Now, regarding the biggest talking point of this film, the 3.5 hour runtime, do you feel it? Yeah, of course you feel it. Any film with a 3.5 hour runtime, you're gonna feel the length of it, no matter the genre. I will say the intermission actually helped the film not feel quite as long. If you go into it and just picture it as 2 hour and 40 minute long films back to back with a 15-minute break in between, it might help make the film not feel quite as long to you. Did the film need to be 3.5 hours long? Probably not. There are some scenes that could have been removed or trimmed down, but I do respect Brady Corbet, the director, for having a vision and sticking to it, and actually being allowed to follow through with his vision. And I did enjoy the old school throwback feel of a historical drama that's 3+ hours long, like the ones that used to come out quite a bit back in the day. So that was nice to experience with a brand new film. Something I did hear about this film was that it was very punishing in an emotional way, as in the more the film goes on, the emotional weight just gets heavier and heavier, and it just becomes quite a toll to watch as a viewer. And honestly, I didn't really feel that. I'm not saying the film isn't emotional, of course it is. It's quite a stirring story, and there are definitely a couple of scenes with some really good emotional kicks to them. There's one scene with Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones arguing in a car. That's probably the scene that emotionally affected me the most in the film. But for me personally, the film didn't floor me, and it wasn't quite as powerful as I was expecting it to be and as I was hoping for it to be. I will not argue anybody when it comes to The Brutalist artistic merit, because the acting, the directing, and all-around craftsmanship is just undeniably fantastic. And story-wise, it's a really good and stirring tribute to the immigrant experience, and also just a kind of part of the history of humanity as well, kind of picking up the pieces from one of the darkest chapters of the history of the human race. All that is good. It's just The Brutalist, it's one of those prestige films that I really liked. I appreciated it very much. It's just not one that I'm going to revisit a lot. I'm probably not going to watch this film again for a very, very long time. And like I said, it was the number one film that I was waiting to see before doing a top 10 list of 2024. And spoiler alert, it's probably not going to be in my top 10 of the year. If you're a casual film fan and you only go to a cinema once every month or so to watch the big stuff, then I would say don't bother watching The Brutalist, because you'll probably be one of the people who will find it quite boring. But if you're a film fanatic and you are crazy about cinema and filmmaking, then you just have to go watch The Brutalist in a cinema. And it probably is going to win Best Picture at the Oscars, so it's just worth seeing all around.